Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at 10 must-use websites if you're learning how to code. Some of these are free, some of these are paid, but I think all of these provide great value, and I wish someone had showed me them when I was starting out and learning how to code. So I basically made this video to do the same for you all. As always, guys, if you like the video, don't forget to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. It's completely free for you. It means so much to me, and you can always unsubscribe. So let's start with the first website, which is Upskill. Right, this is another one of these websites that are built to teach people how to code. Just using this website, and as you can see, it's completely free. There is like a paid option, but you can definitely take some courses completely free, and you can already see like there's a ton of courses on web development, JavaScript primarily. It's primarily web development, but I still think this is a great resource. And basically, we can check out one of the courses. This is the web developer course. It teaches you HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Ruby on Rails. And then what I really like later on is you build. There's a whole module on building a website, building like a real startup. And there's over 30 lectures that are just designed to build this one project. And if you look closely, like it sets you up with different softwares, SSH keys. It goes through a very detailed process to set everything up on your computer. And you can see like there's like hours and hours of content here. So we can basically look at a couple of modules and kind of get what taking a course is like, right? So basically it's a bunch of videos. That being said, there's no IDE or like a place to type code and get like instant feedback and responses and be able to test and stuff like that. But there are some great videos. I've gone through a couple of these, and they're very in depth, and it covers really all the steps you need to set stuff up. So basically there's like a step for setting up Sublime, and there's steps for setting up different accounts. And you see like setting up with Cloud9. And so it goes through very detailed. And although there's no real place to like type your code in and to run code and test code, which I really like to see in these websites, it still is a very in-depth resource, and there's so much here. And really the important part is that you can build a project, and I think that's the best way to learn. So Upskill, guys, there's definitely like a paid version here. I think there's like $19 a month or $200 a year, whatever you want. But I think this is a great resource, and if you are interested in learning something along the lines of JavaScript web development, then I think this is an awesome resource for you. So the second website is one we visited before on this channel. It's Free Code Camp. I mean, we've talked about this before, but again, I think this is an awesome website. There's like a ton of different courses, hundreds and hundreds of hours of content covering a lot of different things, from data science, web development, even interview prep, which is great to see, right? They even recommend that there's like a foundations course for learning how to be a software developer, and basically everything looks like this. There's text on the left, there's instructions on the left, a place to type your code in. You can see, the results of your code right away, and basically to go to the next module, you run the tests, and then you have to pass the tests, right? So this is a great way to learn how to code. I think you can just hop on the website, start coding right away, and see if what you're doing is right. And like, this is a completely free website, and I mean, if you're trying to learn web development or any type of development available on this website, I think why would you go to any other resource, right? If there's so much here, you can see like there's in-depth instructions. You can start coding right away. You don't have to set everything up. So basically, Free Code Camp is an awesome resource, and I think if you're struggling to learn how to code and you want some more content, some more courses, or something that you can work on, definitely check out Free Code Camp, and it might be what you need. So the third website, and this is something that every developer uses and loves, this is Stack Overflow. So if you're just starting out, you might not know about this website yet, but the odds are, if you've Googled anything, any type of question on Google that is computer science related or related to a specific language, like how to do a for loop in Python, for example, the odds are the first result on Google is going to be a Stack Overflow. So any kind of question you look up, there's a ton of different responses, and basically the odds are, if you have a question, you look it up on Stack Overflow, and there's probably someone else that asked the exact same question. And basically this is how it works. You go online, I mean, you go on the website, you look at someone asks a question like this, and then there's people that respond below, and the responses are very detailed. Like, you know, if you wait a couple of days, the odds are someone's going to answer and often give you the correct answer. And the awesome thing is, when you're looking at different answers for different questions, the person who actually asked the question can mark, you know, the best response, right? This owner accepted this as the best answer. So you're not just looking at random responses. If it says that this is the best answer, that means this actually works and is a proper response, right? Because it's very easy that you're looking through and people are just typing stuff that isn't correct and they think is right, but it's not. And so you don't have to worry about stuff like, can you trust this answer? Is it actually right? You know, if it's marked as best response, then you can just use it. And I've found so many solutions. Definitely when I'm stuck on something and I Google it and I end up on Stack Overflow, most of the time I can actually work my way to a solution. It might not be exactly what I need, but I can kind of work on the code that someone else offered. And really, guys, this is an awesome resource, and you're gonna be using this at some point. So if you haven't used it yet, just check it out. And like, honestly, any kind of question you have, the answer you can probably find on Stack Overflow, which is awesome. So another website that I think you guys should definitely use if you're just starting to learn how to code is GitHub. This is a website that just basically hosts code, and you can, you know, commit, you can push your code there and keep it all updated in one spot. And basically the point of websites like this is, so if there are several different developers working on the same code base, you know, they can all push and merge code safely without having any conflicts and stuff like that. And the reason why I think you guys should use this website is because there's going to have to be a place you store your code, and a place that is where it's version controlled and you can update safely and basically keep your code maintained, right, when you're working on a project. And if you're working on a side project by yourself and you're just trying to, you know, get comfortable with coding, I would definitely recommend going through, you know, a basic GitHub tutorial and kind of get comfortable and kind of dip your feet in, you know, and get some experience using GitHub, because most companies whenever you get a job, most places you're going to work at are going to be using some form of version control. And so if you're comfortable with Git and you're comfortable with the whole idea of version control, it definitely makes you stand out, you know, as opposed to someone who has no idea what GitHub is. It's just like a good thing to see when hiring a programmer, and just a good thing to know about. And so definitely check out GitHub. And if you guys haven't already, you know, push some test code, create a repository on your computer, and just kind of play around with it to get a feel for GitHub, because it's definitely a very, very useful website. And knowing Git is always useful, and you know, there's never going to be a time where you don't need it. So the next website we're going to be talking about is the Odin Project. This is also a website that I made a couple of videos on my channel, but I only do this because I love this website so much. It's a great resource to learn web development. There's not really anything else, but if web development is what you're interested in, I would definitely use the Odin Project and try to check it out. There's basically different paths. You start off with like a foundation path basically, which teaches you, you know, the foundations of building a website and JavaScript, web development, HTML, all that stuff. And it basically goes through installation, Git basics, like I just mentioned. Everyone needs to know about Git. So this just reinforces that, right? Then it tells you about the front end, some basics about JavaScript, then a back end. And when you're done this course, you can do a more advanced one that's focused specifically either on JavaScript or Ruby on Rails. So right here, you can select one of them. But what the course looks like essentially is, let's go to JavaScript Fundamentals Part 1. You just basically read through the slides. There's learning outcomes. You read through some very detailed information, and there's a great amount of resources that they link to that you can use and read through just to, you know, solidify that knowledge. And basically, you know, this website is completely free, and I think that, you know, going through all these notes, looking at all the resources they offer, and doing the projects that they offer as well is a great way to learn, because there's projects in every single kind of module. So you're learning code, you're learning different topics, and then you're actually applying them, which I think is awesome. So the Odin Project is a great resource. You know, there's awesome links and stuff here, and there's projects you can build. And by the time you're done, you have a really good understanding of web development in general. And you have a couple of projects under your belt too, which is always a great thing, right? So the next website we're going to be talking about is LeadCode. And LeadCode is something that you should use, you know, to practice for interviews, to practice for technical interviews and stuff like that, I've always said that, coding is a completely different skill set than, succeeding in interviews. You can be an amazing coder and, know a lot about a certain language and like the foundations and kind of have a very good understanding, but then someone asks you an algorithm type question and you can blank out and I think that's because, and it's a completely different skill set, succeeding at an interview versus just succeeding as a software developer. And so LeadCode is a place where you can practice different types of questions, different types of interview style questions that a lot of companies will ask. And basically, you can sort them by difficulty. So the hard ones are definitely really, really hard. And so I wouldn't start off with hard, but there's easy questions. And so this one, shuffle the array, for example, straightforward, right? You get the question on the left here, and then you can run your code here. You can pick any language you want. There's a ton of languages you can decide. So it's not really, limited by language. Anyone can kind of practice for an interview, and then you write your solutions here. You can run your code and see if it passes the tests, whatever it is, and then when you submit, it actually compares your solution and the efficiency of your solution against other solutions, and you can see like, oh, your solution is faster than 90% of the other solutions, or like it uses 90% less memory than other solutions. So definitely, like, guys, like imagine you just go through a ton of these problems, like 10 to 20 a day. Once you can do easy ones, you move on to medium, then you can move on to hard. And the odds are, if you get really comfortable at these problems, then you'll probably succeed at your interviews, because it's the same thing, right? You just get asked these questions, and if you have a bit of experience solving these kind of problems, I think it'll definitely raise your chances of succeeding. And the cool thing is that you can go to discussions, right? And look, all these people either have questions or like they're posting their solutions, right? So this person uploaded their solution in JavaScript, there it is. And you can kind of, if you're stuck, look through them, and and then you can also go through like your submissions in the past, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff on this website. It's definitely a great resource. There's a premium version, but this is completely free. You can do a ton of stuff. And what is pretty cool is that you can actually look at the most popular interview questions that, top companies used, right? So right here, top interview questions. And so it gives you a more specific, amount of interview questions that you can practice, right? So definitely start with easy and then move to medium and hard. That's what I would recommend. But LeadCode, guys, is a great resource. Now, the next website is Harvard CS50. This is a free course offered by Harvard, and it's what is actually taught at Harvard for computer science courses. So basically that speaks for itself, like how priceless this is and how awesome it is that they made this a free course. So what it is it's an 11-week program. There's a couple of lectures. It's all in video form. And watching these lectures, it's the actual professors from Harvard, and students pay thousands of dollars for this. So I just think it's sick that it's completely free, and you can kind of follow it like a traditional university course, and basically watch a lecture or two a week, then do the labs and like problems and whatever. And I just think if you follow it completely, I don't see there's a reason why you shouldn't be a lot better at development afterwards, right? Especially if you're brand new. So there's also like labs every week. So, there's questions and problems that you can do. And this is basically the instructions on how to compile and name programs and submit and everything. And there's videos as well for walking you through. So, if you follow the instructions and you do all the problems, I think this is an awesome resource. And look, there's another question as well with the expected output. And these are kind of similar problems to what I experienced in university too. So, I think this is an awesome resource. And then that was labs. And there's also problem sets every single week. So what's also really cool is that there's different types of questions. So submit this version of the question if you're less comfortable, submit this version of the question if you're more comfortable. So it really caters to anyone, no matter what the skill level is. If you're not really understanding that well, you can do this question and then kind of move on to more complicated questions later on. These are really interesting problems, and I just think this is a great resource. This is literally a Harvard course, and it covers, you can see C arrays, algorithms, memories, data structures, everything you can expect from an introductory course to computer science. And I think, guys, if you're brand new to computer science, this might be the perfect place to start, to be honest, and kind of just follow this casually, follow this course week by week, do all the work. And I guarantee you, by the end of the 3 months of this course, you're going to be so far better off than if you had just, tried studying by yourself and given up and, not been consistent with it, right? So CS50 is an awesome resource. resource. The next website is one that I've used before and I'm a big fan of. It's Udemy. So Udemy is basically a website with a ton of courses, like a crazy amount of courses where you can learn how to code, and some of them are free, but some of them are paid. But you can definitely find something for yourself if you know you look hard enough, right? There's obviously a huge amount of courses, so finding a really good one is kind of tough. But what you can do is kind of just look up what you're interested in. So like, for example, JavaScript, and you can see like the reviews, like look, 105,000 people have taken this course, 4.7 stars. So you can probably trust this course, right? And you can see here 68 total hours, 300 lectures for $20. Like, this is also, a great option. From my understanding, it's mostly just videos, and you have to complete everything, you set everything up on your computer and stuff like that. So there's not really like an online IDE, like kind of free code camp, which I do like to see. But, I just think that on Udemy, there's a ton of awesome resources. And if you have a bit of money available, maybe $199 is too expensive, but, for $20, a course like this with so many students, like this has almost 500,000 students. I just think that Udemy, you can definitely find an awesome course for you if you've tried other things and you're out of ideas and you want another place where you can find courses. I just think Udemy is a great resource, and you might try it out. You might be able to find something that's like exactly what you wanted. And there's a ton of different courses here, not even just computer science. So Udemy is definitely something I think you guys should check out. Now, the next website is something I've never talked about before on my channel, but one I just found out recently, to be honest, and it's called SoloLearn. And so SoloLearn is a free website. There's a pro option, like you can see, but you can do a lot of stuff completely free, and it's a place where you can learn how to code, right? So I picked the Python path, and what you do is you start off, right? There's places where you can type in code, so it's really cool. You can write code and then run the code like this, and then you kind of can see the output. So this kind of stuff, like I said before, I love to see because it takes away all the setup and you can just start coding. And if you can get comfortable coding right away, I think your progress is so much faster. And so like, look, this is another kind of question that helps us practice what we just learned. And if you continue, there's other different types of questions, right? It gives you multiple choice and you can see if you understand it, and it tells you that you're correct. And then look, you can there's the next one, which is like you can print multiple lines, you can try it yourself. But basically what I'm trying to say is this is like kind of a great hands-on resource that you can use to learn different languages, and it goes through in depth, a ton of different stuff. So if this is kind of a Python course, it teaches you the basic concepts, and then strings, variables, structures, modules, and functions, and it basically keeps going through a lot of different things, right? Even object-oriented programming. And this is all completely free. And the main reason why I like this resource is that because of like the different quiz-style questions, as well as the fact that there's an IDE and you can actually type in your code and see the results instantly. And so the other thing I wanted to show you guys is that there's not only Python, there's C++, there's a ton of different languages, Angular, and a lot of these have, thousands to millions of students. So this is definitely, it shows for itself, 7.2 million learners of Python on this website. Like, that's clearly an awesome course that a lot of people have used, right? So the other part of this website that I wanted to show you guys is the playground, and this is basically where people can kind of post their code online. And what you can do is kind of run it, and then you can see that you can see all the code that they used, right? And then see exactly what it does. So this is someone posted the game they made online. Now I don't really know what this does. But I mean, you can kind of, if you have no idea, right, how to code, and you want to just see basic code that people have done and what it does, then look, like, you can read through this code. It kind of makes coding more realistic if you're like a complete beginner, I find. But yeah, I really like this kind of forum that they have here with the code playgrounds, because there's a lot of people that are posting, and it's really just a fun place to see. And there's also places to discuss, ask questions, like similar to Stack Overflow. But basically, guys, SoloLearn, if you haven't checked it out already, really give it a shot, because I think it's an awesome resource. So yeah. The final resource that I think is not talked about enough is Educative. Educative is another website that you can learn how to code online, but you can code in real time on the website and get feedback, and there's a ton of different awesome courses with a ton of different topics, and I think they just got a huge investment in them as well. So it's only going to get better. But basically, look, there's like front-end development, React, Java, Python for data analysis, even coding interview prep. And there's more courses as well, like that people make themselves, like learning Git, CSS styling, whatever. But what you can kind of do is pick a path. So let's say you pick the front-end developer path, and this is actually so Educative is actually paid. It's not a free resource. I think it's like $20 a month if you pay yearly, and it's $40 a month if you pay monthly. So it's a bit pricey, but I do think that if you have a bit of money and you want to buy like a pretty solid course, I think this is the way to go. Again, there's probably cheaper alternatives, so just try it out for yourself. There's a free trial and see if you like it. But I think there's a lot of awesome content here, like 20 hours, 100 lessons, 36 quizzes, a ton of playgrounds, code snippets. So it really is in depth. And look, we can go through a module or two and kind of just see what it's like, right? So this is kind of like the Node.js module. It walks you through what is Node. It walks you through creating a Node.js server, and basically you can type here for yourself, you can run, and then once you run, like for example, once you run the server, you can go on the actual connection, and like right now it's refusing to connect, but it gives you real-time results, real-time output. And then you go to the website now because the server's running, it runs hello world. So it's really awesome. It's pretty neat, especially for beginners. You can try different stuff. You can edit the code and get comfortable coding right away. And all the modules are kind of like this. It's text mixed in with little snippets where you can write the code. And I just think overall it's a great resource. And like I said before, there's a ton of different paths you can choose and a ton of different, courses you can take. And just, going through this website, AWS, there's a ton of stuff. So just basically, guys, what I would say is, go online and kind of look through the website and see if it's for you and if there's any kind of courses or content that you're interested in. So yeah, guys, that was 10 different websites or resources that I think you must use if you're learning how to code. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys have used any of these websites, or if you haven't used them, or if there's anything I missed, any kind of websites that you think I missed that I should have put on this list. And as always, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Enjoy your coding and have a good day.